All right. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Utmost Sincerity. What's going on, Randy? How you doing, bro?
Man, I am wonderful, man. I'm wonderful, man. Enjoying my life, enjoying the time. It's been pretty good these days. It's been nice little glorious days.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Ain't too hot,
Yeah.
So
definitely.
yeah, man. I'm good. How you doing, bro?
Man, I'm doing good, bro. Another week down, Another week down, bro. And my saying, any day above ground.
Never above ground.
It's a good day, brother.
Absolutely a good day.
Yes, indeed.
Yes,
so,
sir.
To all the fans out there, to everyone listening, I hope your week was good. Today is Sunday, official start of the NFL. Shout out to my Ravens, Baltimore Ravens, all day.
That's right. They was up.
Yeah, they were. Definitely. Let's hope they can keep that. But to everyone today, today's topic we're gonna talk about black culture. What is a big deal, especially in America. People really don't like to say it, but they don't know that black culture is a thing that a lot of people who are not African American, they really like to follow, they really like to do. They will never really admit it, but it's a big deal.
Culture appropriation, yeah. So and just to piggyback off of that, we have people of Asian descent, right? We have Japanese, we have Chinese, we have people from South Korea, North Korea, but they have their own culture. They're not the same.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
Japanese and Chinese people are not the same. They have their own different cultures, their own different types of lifestyle. So black culture is a real thing. It is absolutely a real thing.
Definitely is.
Yeah.
And if you look at it, a lot of things, black culture, as far as the hip hop world, that was started from us. When it come to you go way back, if you go back to the late 70s, that's when really the hip hop world started to really make a boom into the the platform and everything. And a lot of people really couldn't relate. They really couldn't relate to it because they what is this they're talking about? And if you look at hip hop was a way for us to really voice our opinion, get our frustrations out. Talk about certain things that people really wouldn't listen to when we just speak out direct.
So even with when we talk about hip hop, it was kind of like a mixture of jazz, the jazz and taking of old jazz records and R&B and mixing it together, but also mixing with poetry.
Right.
That's how we kind of formulate the rap, the hip hop scene. But it spoke about joy. In the early beginnings was more so joy. And I think that's the best thing about when we talk about our culture. Right. Is that you could give us a whole bunch of poop. And we'll make it golden, bro.
Exactly.
Really think about it, right? Really think about it. It's summertime, right? Summer's getting ready to come to an end, but it's summertime, right? None of us really have access to pools, right?
True.
So I don't know, tell me what you used to do, in your neighborhood, bro. What they used to do when it was hot out.
We
broke open the fire hydrant.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. You hit the fire hydrant. Whoever the we were all young. We were the little kids in the neighborhood, but whoever the big boys around there, the older heads, around there, they would come out and they would
with the wrenches
and boom and open the joint up, and we all play in the water and things like that. Later on, the fire department come around and shut it down.
But we
opened it right back up. Yeah, exactly. So that was things that we would do to try to go ahead and enjoy ourselves, because just like you said, we didn't have pools. We didn't have pools. We weren't able to just go and walk down the street and and hop right in a pool and go swimming. That wasn't a thing for us. We didn't have that. That didn't come to really later on in some neighborhoods, and that's only some, because still there's a lot of neighborhoods that don't have these type of recreational things that other kids are privileged to having. So that's another big part about a lot of things that's going on in the black community also. a lot of our kids don't have a whole lot of outlet. You know.
Yeah. And but even still, even if we didn't have outlets, we always still found a way.
We made it. Yeah,
we always made a way.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I'm saying? We didn't have basketball courts.
Right.
You know,
right.
At least from my neighborhood. Like,
right.
we didn't. So we had we used to shoot the ball off a brick building when they had a sign.
Yeah, and that was the goal.
The no trophy.
Yep.
And if you shoot the ball and it hit the sign, that's your point. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Or the crates.
Yep, the crates.
You get
a milk. That's like a step up if you get the milk crate. You get the milk crate. You like, yo, I got a milk crate. You get it. You know, either the old head in the neighborhood gonna pin it on the wall for you some way,
right?
Or either they gonna put it on the light pole, the wooden light poles, like back in the day they used to have.
Yeah.
And if you dunk on it, that was that was a big deal. So like you said, man, like we used to make the best of everything. We would race. We would stand at a pole. You on one side of the pole, the other person on they on the other side, and the person say go, and you run around the block. And you come back first one to touch that pole, win.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was just a lot of things that, just like you said, bro, we would actually do to go ahead and enjoy ourselves in our neighborhood.
Yeah, I mean, we were not fortunate in what as far as like financially in our communities, but we had fun.
That's true. That's
true.
Like
for real, like we absolutely had fun. For me, growing up as a child, like, we had fun.
Yeah.
And I look across like every community, every black community, especially urban communities, we always found a way.
That's true.
To have a good time.
Yeah.
Regardless of the situation.
That's true.
And I think we need to be like really highlighting that aspect of like black culture, of us being such innovators.
True.
We are such we are people of such like innovators and innovation of many and a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
And this is where like other cultures, white folks, right? Cultural appropriation will take what we create, right, and they would try to use it from themselves. But right, but when something is bad associated with it, we don't want it. We'll push it back to you. And I think we have to start really like pushing back on it. And I mean, for the most part, we do. But like again, who controls these narratives, right?
Right.
The majority racial group, right? Controls our narratives about what is acceptable and what is not acceptable.
True.
Like even down to how we talk. I call it black language, right?
Right.
We talk street, whatever. We make our words finna.
Exactly. Yeah.
Finna do. What I'm saying?
Right.
We make our words, and that's not proper. Well, you have actually a southern language, right? There's also a southern language. There's an Appalachian language, right? Where they're choose their words and they say their words differently.
That's true.
You've seen it in movies.
Oh yeah.
Right. If you wanted to go down south now, you still see these things. So what is wrong with my black language?
Yeah.
Right. But because of the standard of what the white supremacy of America, right, states is the Queen's language, right, that we were given, that we also have to accept and take. This is what we consider as proper.
Right.
Okay. Cool. Right. But when I'm talking, if I'm talking Coop, I'm cool.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Let me speak the way I want to speak. But then when they are not around, or when we're around, they try to assimilate with us. They try to talk the same way that we talk, to see like, oh man, we cool. We I'm cool with you.
And you
what's up?
And you look at them like, huh?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Whatever, man. You know what I'm saying? Because bro, just when you said that, I have had some white people, they do that. I'll be talking and I may not even be talking, talking like if me and you out and we just chilling and we speaking street and we just talking. I may not even be talking like that at the time because I make sure I don't around them a lot of times because they try to, everything that we do, they always try to take it and switch it to a negative, So when I talk, especially around them, I try to make sure that I'm coming across in a certain dialogue,
right.
But you still get some of them when they haven't even heard you speak yet, and they come across, be like, "What's up, yo?" And I'm looking at them like, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? You know, and I'm looking at like,
right.
And you know, and then they want to try to dap me up.
Yeah.
And I'm looking like, man, this is like the weirdest thing.
Yeah, come on, bro.
Like, bro, just be, just shake your hand, you know.
I'll give you a pound something. But don't be trying, you know.
My father, he used to always have this. He used to always say, and I think I got it from him from saying it. He would always say, man, they want to dance like us. They want to wear our clothes. They want to do this. They want to be us until it's time to be us. Yeah, you know, he used to say this all the time.
That's so heavy.
Yeah, bro, he used to say that.
Be us until it's time to be us.
And I'm like, Pop, that makes so much sense.
Right.
You know, he was like, man, he was like, it just pisses me off, you know, and he was like, but as soon as a black man start to speak this way, you get labeled, oh, you racist, you don't like white people. And he was like, that don't have anything to do with it at all. You know, he said I'm far from a racist, you know. And but he like that's the first thing, like whenever a black man start to voice his opinion, he's an angry black man. Oh my God, well, he's a threat now. You know, that's when they throw us into that category. But let any other race do this, oh, he's passionate.
Oh, of course.
He's speaking passion. It's coming from his heart.
Of course, man.
You know, and the media is like one of the biggest ones to go ahead and put that out there like that.
But again, who's controlling the media?
Yeah, right.
So, I mean, we know the answers to the most of these questions, but I think that the most part that we should be doing is celebrating our blackness. Celebrating our black joy.
Absolutely.
Regardless of, you know, what mainstream media say, what the patriarchal white society says about our culture and our communities and how we celebrate.
That's right.
That's right. You know, we have we have really good times with each other. Again, with nothing. With nothing.
Yes,
so
indeed.
This is something that also should be always celebrated, and I like our black joy. You know, just like our family members and like friends and like just reflecting on these times and also pushing it, you know, both of us have kids, but like also pushing that narrative to our children, because
absolutely, bro.
You know, we are able to now, like, our children you know, have not had the same lifestyle that we had growing up, right. So we're able to provide a little bit more security towards them, but also they're now what's the word, kind of like sheltered. No doubt. They're sheltered from the things and stuff that we have done. So now I had to also make sure that I tell my kids, you know, like, you sheltered, but you're black.
Exactly. Yeah.
So still be aware of what's going on, and celebrate who you are.
Right.
You don't have to feel like that you have to, you know, have your, you know, give away, you know, like, dang, what's the word I'm trying to use?
I know what you mean. Like basically, like, you have to act like,
you ain't gotta act like a certain way. There you go.
So
you ain't gotta act like that you know you're from somewhere or something. No, just celebrate your blackness.
That's all, bro.
Just celebrate your blackness. And I think we as parents, you know, we have to make sure that we continue to uplift our children and make sure they celebrate their blackness, because when they watch TV, they mainly see, you know, you go on Disney Channel, Netflix, or whatever the case may be. You know, we see these white faces, right? And I can I'll be completely honest with you. I can remember a time where, when I was younger, you know, like I looked at looked at my name, like, why my name is Randy? You know, like. You know, and why can't my name be you know, like I don't know what it was at the time, but I can kind of remember I probably was watching like Home Alone or something when it first came out, and was just kind of like, why I can't be white? Right. And that was like a real thought that I kind of like understood what was about race and just growing up. But as I reflect on it, like, my like evolution of accepting and loving my blackness came more so, like, you know, I still live the life I lived from middle school and high school, but like really when I stepped foot on Morgan State University campus and I just saw that beautiful blackness, just saw like all these black folks, that's right, from all over the country, right? Not just like, not from Baltimore, but from all over the country, the eastern coast, the east region, right? And like how it was just like amazing, and like intellectually, you know what I mean, like smart black folks, engineers and stuff like that goes to Morgan State University, and stepping on the campus, and black professors.
Right.
Man, I mean, I'm telling you, I talk about him all the time, and I wish I can find him. But Dr. Marcus Allen, he was one of my history teachers, man, and he was such a big influence to me of like loving yourself,
right,
loving your blackness, and loving who you are, and don't change that for nobody.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And I was just kind of like, yeah, you know, it's like, yeah, you know what I mean?
That's
if this was the 70s, I'd be like, yeah, right on, brother.
Exactly, exactly, bro.
Yeah, man. So, I think, you know, like, as much as like, you know, we want to tell our children, you know, what schools to go to or what we think is good schools to go to, I will always push for HBCU.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt.
You know, like you can get the same amount and greater education at Howard, than you could at Harvard.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
You know, you can get the great engineering program of Morgan State University than you could anywhere else.
Yeah.
At a PWI type school.
That's so true.
So we have to make sure that we push for it, because especially for me, with no understanding and knowing that my kids has been sheltered,
right?
You know, having that, to seeing that and accepting like your blackness,
exactly,
and seeing that in a mass majority of atmosphere.
Yeah.
I think it's so inspirational.
It is, bro. It's
so inspirational, because we don't see that. Like, again, we was talking about like the media,
right?
We don't see that stuff on the media.
No, we don't. You know what
I'm saying? We don't see them talking about these different. They talk about John Hopkins or some other predominantly white institution,
right?
More so than they talk about the great things that HBCUs has been doing.
Right.
And you really wouldn't know this until you actually look on like their sites or something of the nature. You'd be like, wow, you know,
right? Or you have to go to, if it's dealing with media, you have to go to like BET, you know, because that deal with black people, but like any other major media network, you don't get them, you don't see them really celebrating HBCUs. You know what I'm saying? You know, you don't see them celebrating that. You know what I'm saying? So, you know that, but that's a major problem. You know, all these other universities and colleges, they get celebrated, but you never ever see them celebrating a HBCU. You never see it, bro.
Like, even you see now, like we talk about like college football. It's football season, right? College football season. You see all these big old, you know, white institutions,
right? That
are these mainstream teams. And I ain't gonna stun. I ain't gonna lie. I'm a big University of Miami fan.
Right. Yeah.
I'm a U fan from just teenage years and playing the NCAA college football games.
I'm a big Ohio State and Virginia Tech fan. You know. So.
Yeah, so we got to kind of like, but those institutions are pushed on mainstream media,
right,
and not like these other schools who can also be in these same conferences.
That's true.
As them,
that's
right?
true.
And we have to like the big, and I'm pretty sure you saw like there's a big push for like 5-star athletes to start pushing their way to HBCUs, because if these 5-star athletes start going to these HBCU schools, guess what also comes with them? You're going to have to push money into these schools.
Oh, yeah, no doubt about it. You have to.
You're going to have to push money into these schools, because now the narrative is starting to change of where these superstars start to come from.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly, yeah.
And we have to really be very intentional in trying to get our athletes to go to these type of schools.
Right.
And it's not saying, that's the thing, right? We take it as so, like, the level of competition.
Right.
It's not at these schools, but really they are. And we can talk about countless of individuals who have, you know, came from HBCUs, like Antonio Freeman, what's his name, Ben Watson, you know, and the list goes on. But they came from these schools. Even Shannon Sharp, he came from Savannah State.
Exactly.
So, you know, there's absolutely greatness at these schools, but they're just not being looked at.
And one thing to piggyback off of what you were saying, I think it's very important that you push, especially with your children. You let them know how beautiful their blackness is. You know, let them know how beautiful their culture is. And that was one good thing about when I was in school, when I was a school police officer, like just dealing with the kids, because a lot of kids they don't know. They don't know. All they got that's really telling them or giving them history lessons is what's on TV. You know, so I never forget, it was this young lady, young girl. She probably, I'll say about 13, and they were looking at a magazine, and it showed a young girl in the magazine. She was she probably looked like she was Hispanic or maybe mixed. You know, had long brown like crinkly curly hair, right? So the little girl, she was a dark brown skinned little girl, hair natural, right? And she's sitting there and she's looking at the picture, and she was like, "I want that." And I'm like, "What? But the outfit she got on?" She was like, "No, I want her hair."
Wow.
And her skin. And I'm like, "Huh?" I'm like, "Girl, go ahead. You over here talking crazy." And she was like, "No, Officer Coop, I really want her hair and her skin." And I said, "Why?" She said, "Because I'm ugly." I said, "Why you think you ugly?"
Yeah.
She said, "Well, people say it all the time."
Yeah.
I said, "Well, who's people?" She said, "Well, my mother called me ugly." And I'm like, "Really?" She was like, "Yeah, my mother's light skinned." You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, "Sweetheart, look, you are not ugly." I said, "And what defines pretty hair?"
Right.
You know, I said, "What defines pretty hair?"
I'm trying to tell you.
You know, and she was like, "Well, her hair. You know, a white girl's hair is straight, it's this and that." I said, "Sweetheart, that doesn't define pretty hair." You know, I said, "Your hair's pretty hair."
Yeah, and you know what I mean. Like, just listen to that, because again, this is what is being pushed out, and you're right. Like, we have to take ownership as parents to be very, very intentional.
Got to
very, very intentional of loving our children and expressing to them about their blackness.
That's right.
Right, because colorism is also real, and even when it comes in the black community, you know, we have these things of, you know, you're lighter skin, you're more beautiful than somebody that's dark skin, when that is absolutely false.
A bunch of bull.
Yeah, so we have to stop. We have to stop doing that and perpetuating that amongst not only our children but ourselves. We have to break that barrier down, because again, you know, we have just that dynamic of like white is right. You know, the lighter your skin is, the more closer you are to whiteness. And the more closer you are to whiteness, you're more acceptable. You know, you're more acceptable to whiteness when that is false. You know, and that's the thing. Like, we have to like start celebrating our children and celebrating ourselves about how we look like, what we do, what we wear, right, where we're from. Have ownership of where you come from. Have ownership of your education and educating yourself. Right, because even when you go to Jamaica, right, you see white folks, they down and doing what, getting their hair cornrows. You know, they sitting there like thinking it's all in the third. But at the end of the day, they want to be us. They want to be us so bad. That's why you got tanning shops, bro. That's why they tan their skin. That's why they sit out there get some sun. Right. Because you want that. You want
that melanin to your skin. You want that melanin that we have naturally. You want that.
But they ain't gonna tell you that.
No, never, man. Oh,
they ain't gonna tell you that.
Man, that's like the no. You know, you never, you know, they ain't gonna say that. You know, but they know it's true. Now I will say, you may have a small percentage that will come out and say that, like, "I love the color of your skin. I want that color in my skin so bad." And they may say it around a group of people, you know, but like you said, the majority, they want to do what we do. They want to be what we be. They want to, it's like we go back to athletes. Want to play the way we play. Whether you go to weightlifting and the way you build your body. You know, a lot of our times our physiques are already natural. Right. It don't take nothing for us to build up. They take all these enhancements to get to where we are. You know, and like you said, bro, they want to be us.
We are the original human being.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Like, until science proves us wrong. The oldest human remains is found in Africa. Period. So civilization came from the motherland. Civilization came from Africa. And again, you know, after generations of time, you know, whatever, man. But
bro, it's but
I agree with you. We have to really be intentional, and I do. Like, I'm very intentional with my children and letting them know about, you know, not only just like their history, but also like about experiencing their blackness, like even how they dress. Like I said, this is probably before, but like my children are very fashionable. Very, very fashionable. And I be like, dang, you know what I'm saying? Like, I be looking at them and I get dressed and I be like,
let me try to rock that right there.
But I look, you know what I mean? I be asking like, how you think this look? You know? My son be like, oh yeah, you rocking, you cool. You know what I'm saying? And my daughter be like, nah, daddy, you know, I would change up this and the third. Like, they have a really good sense of fashion, right? Even like our fashion, our fashion so much want to be assimilated, but then you know, they assimilate our fashion, they assimilate our music, they listen to it, right? In the car, I'm pretty sure, like, you ride past and you hear them listen to the same music we listen to. But hey, and they get to a certain way, I'm gonna turn this down real quick.
Yeah.
Let me turn this down real quick. Or right, they all together somewhere. They all together somewhere, and they be rocking the music too, and acting like trying to simulate that culture. And I'm just like, that's why we have to be so much like, we have so much evidence, right? That people want to be us. Yeah, people want to be a part of our culture. That we have to celebrate it. Yeah. Right? Yes. What's the saying go? The imitation is the greatest form of
imitation is the greatest form of
admiration or
something like that. Yeah. I know what you're talking about though. Man. Yeah.
So it's kind of like, sometimes we just gotta like smile and laugh and be like, you
got to, bro. I remember I watched a video on it was on Facebook, and it was an Asian dude, and I don't know if they were in Japan, China, whatever.
They take that they take our culture very
seriously. Bro,
I mean, they really assimilate down there.
Bro, he like had twists in his head, like they whatever they did to his head, they teased his head to the point where it looked natural, like natural black hair, And I'm looking at this dude like, dang, yo, it's an Asian dude. But like you said, like I have seen like their models and everything, man. They base a lot of their hairstyles and the way they dress. They base it off of black culture. Yeah. And what's the young lady? She just won the U.S. Open.
Oh, Naomi.
Naomi Osaka. Yeah, she, bro. I found out that, and I didn't notice that. I guess her last name, that's not her family last name.
Because her dad is black.
Yeah, he's Haitian. He's from Haiti. So her mom is Japanese. Yep. So, and they was like, that's frowned upon in the Asian culture. Like a mixed child living in Japan, that's like a no. Yeah. But like, once again, you go back to it like, bro, once again, like, but y'all want to do what we do, but you get mad.
But you can't accept me.
Exactly.
You can't accept us, but you want to be me. But you can't accept me.
Right.
You know, and it's and that's why I think like when we, for us like coaches, we got to start really building our own communities. Yeah. Like really, really building our communities. I was reading an article where I think it was like 42 families had bought land, and somewhere down in Georgia, kind of like outside of Atlanta somewhere, but they had bought land, like they bought their own like town.
Oh wow!
They bought this land together and they're building on it. They building houses. They're gonna build a whole community down there. And I think this is like, we need to be at places where we belong. Yeah, we need to be at places where we are celebrated, right? That we are celebrated. That we celebrate ourselves, right? Because the other people, they want to be us so bad, but when it's time to be, like you just said, when it's time to be us, they don't want to be us.
Exactly. Exactly.
So it's kind of like we have to start now, be very, very intentional. Like I'm like really a big fan of this movement of like supporting black owned businesses.
Oh yeah,
support a black owned business, right? And even like, we have to like kind of like, I wish we can kind of like get a covenant together of like black ownerships, or black people, or black investors to come together and create like a black community of like storefronts, restaurants, lounges, bars, stuff of that nature in one area. Like we here in Baltimore, you got Hamden, right? Hamden got their own like,
they got their own little community.
Their own
Upper Park Heights, the Jewish community, they got that sold up, bro.
And we have to really start being very intentional and trying to push for that stuff like that, man. And like, so we are in places where we are accepted, right? We are in places where we are celebrated, right? We're in places where we can make sure that we are safe together, right? We are in places where we can police each other, that's what we need to create. We need to start really creating that, because again, like, our culture is the most profound culture of them all, and
all these other races are already doing it. Little Italy, down South Point. You look at that. Everywhere else is doing it. In multiple cities in the United States, you have a Chinatown. So it's like, and that's why I'm big. For instance, when my daughter's actually both of them, because she took her youngest daughter with her when I told her don't, but she did it anyway. And that was, oh man, that was ugly. I had to get on them. I had to get on them about that. But when the whole thing with the protest happened, right?
Okay.
And I had to tell my daughter, and she was like, "Daddy, why are you angry with me?" She said, "You mad at me because I protest?" I said, "No, I want you to protest. You protest peaceful. You go ahead and you speak your mind." I said, "I want you to do that." I said, "But my thing is, when you go out and protest, I want you to know about your culture. I want you to know where you come from." I said, "Do you know what Black Wall Street is?" She had no clue.
Wow. Yeah.
And I kind of blame myself for that too.
Absolutely,
because I didn't sit her down and tell her about it.
Black Wall Street. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what I'm getting back. We need to create ourselves another Black Wall Street.
Exactly, bro.
We need to be able to do that. And now, because racism is still real.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, no
Segregation
doubt.
is still real, and how Black Wall Street ended is that they went in and terrorized that town.
Yeah.
And terrorized that they were spending their money and recycling their money in their own community.
Right.
That they tear it down, but we need to create that. But now that everything is more so, we can record these stuff.
Yeah.
We can make sure that we hold people accountable to a certain extent. We know how the criminal justice system, the legal system have its flaws in it.
Yeah,
right?
no doubt. Yeah.
But we can still hold people accountable in that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we absolutely need to create a whole new like Black Wall Street for us to just like really celebrate us, man.
Bro, it's like it's a must. Because just like you were saying, like whenever I see Black-owned businesses, I support. Especially if it's something that's gonna show it's a good product.
Yeah, it's a good product.
And they're actually pushing it in the right way.
So so even on that, right? Like Black-owned business support one. We always hear the things of like when it comes down to customer service.
Right.
It comes down to customer service when we support a Black-owned business. But now, in the light of everything that's going on, they were so nasty, they was mean at this point that I'm not ever going back again. Well, pause for a second. Pause for a second. When you go to Fridays and you got a nasty waitress at Friday,
right,
and you decide you want to have a conversation with the manager, but the manager also don't agree with what you're trying to say or dispute about that, right? But guess what? Do you say, I'm not going back to Fridays? No, you going to go back to Fridays.
Yeah.
So when it comes to Black-owned businesses, give them another chance.
Exactly.
But also critique them.
Yeah.
I think that's the whole thing that we need to do. We need to stop saying, I give up, and say, all right, whoever we're dealing with or having this experience with, that we give them a critique.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's so much power that we have that we don't even realize in trying to critique people, like with Yelp and Google reviews and stuff like that. You can actually leave a bad review. But before we even get there, let's make sure that let me speak to the manager.
There you go.
Talk to the manager. Hey, look, this is what happened. This is what's going on. Can you please try to do something a little bit higher than this, like, better training and understanding, and hold your employees accountable. And for the employee, if you can say something to the employee, say something to the employee about how you feel about how you were serviced, instead of just saying, I'm never going back again.
Right.
Because we don't do this to these big chain restaurants. We don't do that to McDonald's.
We really don't.
We don't do this to these other places, but we still go to.
Yeah.
We still go right back to them. Yeah. So that narrative of, this is why I don't support bad businesses, because blah 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 blah. Right? Okay, well, you need to stop supporting McDonald's when your fries are cold. Yeah. And they say, well, sorry, we ain't putting them back in there. Or you go to McDonald's and the ice cream machine, bro. You want to get some
bro, like hey, I want that McFrosty.
And every time I come to this McDonald's, the ice cream machine don't work. Okay, well, stop going.
Yeah. Don't go there, but guess what? They gonna go back.
They gonna go back. So we gotta have that same. If you still gonna go back to McDonald's, we need to have that same energy, whatever that Black-owned business is, to say I'm gonna go back and support them.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
I'm gonna go back and support them, but I'm gonna do it in a loving way. Yeah. And letting them know, like, hey, let me critique you, but I'm gonna critique you in a loving way.
Right.
So your business can flourish.
Right.
And continue to flourish. Right. Because this is you and your business, right? You on the inside of it. I'm on the outside trying to get your service.
Exactly.
So I'm even on the outside trying to get your service. this is what I would like. This would be my standard to come back.
Right. Exactly.
And I think any business owner and any manager should take that mindset and say, I do want this business to come back.
Oh, yeah. No doubt about it.
Because I'm going to tell you something straight up. During the course of this pandemic, how many restaurants you have seen close?
Whew. Oh, man. It's
how many businesses have you seen shut down?
A lot of them is folded,
they were shut down.
Yeah.
So, and I'm pretty sure, and I will hope, right? I will hope that a lot of people have taken like what has happened in this pandemic and learned about what is an essential business, or in the event if my business is not essential, how can I make sure that I sustain my business going forward through if something ever was to happen like that again. I think a different mindset has now came forth, right?
Yeah.
But that's the same thing like when as far as like managers and stuff comes about how can I make sure that my business survive, because I want more business. I don't want to lose business.
Right, exactly.
You shouldn't have that bravado of like okay, well, whatever, I don't care what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. And just all right, just like you said, just kind of with that whole mentality, like, okay, whatever. You know, you gotta, and I always tell people this: you gotta take criticism, because
constructive criticism,
exactly, because it's either gonna make you or break you. You know, either you're gonna listen to it, kind of go sit back and analyze everything that you've been doing that's going on with your business or whatever you may be doing, you know, and take whatever the positive pieces are out of that and add it to you, or you're just gonna be negative about it and be like, you know what, I don't care what they say, I'm gonna keep doing things the way I'm doing.
We have to always be teachable.
Yes.
I think that's like our biggest downfall. It's just in humans period. Yeah, it's that we get to a point where we're no longer teachable. We're no longer, if I'm in a managerial position or leadership position, that you know I shouldn't be able to still be teachable. You should absolutely still be teachable. Times change, technology change, everything is changing and evolving. Right. You also have to now evolve. Yeah. And I say to myself, like when we talk about like our blackness, right, and our black culture. That's like I can really pinpoint like evolutions of me. I can have evolutions of Randy. Oh yeah. Of like when I have like different evolutions about, you know, the way that I look, the way that I dress, the way that I, you know, the way I look at life, my outview about certain situations and things. From you know, like how we talked about in our first episode about my 20-year-old self and now my 35-year-old self now. Exactly. Right. Like you can see. You know, you may have had trials and tribulations, but you can see like the evolution that came from you. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So if we have these personal evolutions, guess what? When you're in certain positions, you should be evolving to in those positions. The same mindset of thinking and going into these things absolutely have to change. Just like how we talked about, you know, last session was about policing. Yeah. It has to change.
It has to, bro.
You have to evolve the same ways and same tactics that has worked, you think worked beforehand has to change. You have to evolve this.
We cannot keep on going the same way. You can't. I mean, as times go, I'm gonna tell you one of the best things that you could ever look at, as far as like evolution. If you look at a rapper, for instance, that's been in the game since the 90s, right? And they stay with the same type of flow always. They never change, right? They fall off because people, like you said, it's evolution. Things are changing. Music is changing.
I don't know, bro. I don't know about that one.
But I mean, you look at
Nas kind of got the same flow.
But look at Nas streams and look at as far as like Nas like downloads or you know what I'm saying. Like if you compare him to like, and I hate it because they was rivalries at one point, but Jay-Z, right? Jay-Z kind of evolved with he still kept the same type of but he evolved. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And he was able to flip the way he rapped. Like he'll hop on joints with like J. Cole and them like that. You know, guys like that. Yeah. Even though J. Cole and them are very conscious rappers, but their style is more new age. You right. You know Kendrick Lamar. So that's like kind of what I'm saying. Yeah. But I can say though, Nas, I listened to his last year. That thing fire. Yeah, it's fire. But you know that's us. We come from that era though. You know what I'm saying? So we come from that era. But yeah, bro. I mean, evolution is a must, man. You have to evolve. You got to. If you don't, you're gonna die.
Yeah, continue to seek. I think like seeking out knowledge. Just trying to really seeking out knowledge. Like Bro, you know, like just when people drop jewels on us, you know, we really gotta accept that and take that and run with it. And then also once they drop these jewels, like I want to learn more about
yeah
right. I think that we can't get in the mindset of just keeping and staying still in these things and in these moments in time. You know, again, like when we talking about our kids, and you was talking about talking about your daughter about Black Wall Street, right? I remember this was some years ago. I think it was probably like 2015. Yeah, like beginning of 2015 or 16. I remember MPT did a series called Many Rivers, the Black Experience, and they started it from 1600s. Oh right. Wow! Since the first ship came over with an indigenous person, right? I mean, you know, what they used to call them. They wasn't slaves, but they was indigenous service or something of that nature, right? But they started from there and they went to all present day Barack Obama, right? During the course of that time frame. But I remember I watched that whole series, right? And then I remember one day I was like quizzing my boys on it. And then like what Nazir is 18, Jason about to be 16, so they had to been like nowhere between maybe 12, somewhere like they had to been like between, back then it was probably like 10 to 13, somewhere in that age range. Right. And I made them sit, and they ran a marathon, bro. Really? I made them sit down and watch the marathon, and they were hour-long joints, so it was probably like a good, maybe a good like 8 hours. I was like, y'all going? I said, I want a report. I said I want a page report on what you experienced and what you saw and what you learned from it. They did it. Wow. They did it. But yeah, bro, I think we have to be very intentional, like teaching our children our history, so they get so inspired, because they just don't know, like so many inventions are made by black people.
Oh my goodness, man. I'm gonna tell you, bro, at the age I am now, I went back and I looked at a list and I was like, I did not know we made half this stuff on here. Like,
you'd be surprised,
like
right?
just about everything that we use on a daily basis, a black person made. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, wow, a black inventor that made this, he made this, made this, and I had no clue, bro. That's why
they made them. Yeah, they
like
made these things, and like they say who created the light bulb? Was it Benjamin Franklin or one of them? Some of them, I don't know. But he was actually a black man who created the light bulb. He took the idea. He they started it, but the black man actually, and forgive me, I had his name earlier today. Forgive me for it. But he perfected it.
Right. He perfected the whole thing.
The way though it worked, right? But it's like so shocking to know that. But then they came up with the whole patent thing, right? You gotta pay for a patent. So yeah, they create inventions, but then if you ain't get a patent, now all these other different family members, and that's another stream of income that white supremacy and white folks get is by patenting stuff.
That's why it's definitely important if you come out with something.
The original inventor of the TV, whoever patented that, right? Their family's still getting paid, no matter how many different brands of TV, from Vizio to Sony to RCA, whatever it is. They still, the original patenter, they get funds from those companies. Yeah, so it's crazy, bro. But yeah, we have to be very intentional, like really, like, and sitting down with them too, and just explaining them. Because I, you know, like my oldest named Zia, I remember one time I made him do a report on W.E.B. Du Bois for one of his school. You know, it's a mixed crowd school that they, you know, middle school that they went to. And they let them do something for Black History Month. And I remember he was going to do something on Good Times. He was going to do a report on Good Times. I was like, no. No, you're not going to do something on the cast of Good Times.
Right.
Good Times is a good show. Great.
Yeah, great show. We're
going to talk about history. We're going to talk about real influencers. And I said, you know, I made him learn about W.E.B. Du Bois, and he wrote his report on that. And I, like, legit went to the school and complained to them. It was like, why would you allow these kids to do such? Why would you allow them to pick what they want? And he picks a TV show,
right?
You know,
and they won't let him do it.
They was gonna let him do it. Like some certain kids, they pick all kinds of different stuff, man. I was kind of like, you gotta give them criteria. You gotta also give them something that they're gonna learn about. right? They have to be able to learn. I did this with my boys mentoring group last year. I gave them a list. I ain't let them go outside the box and do what they want to.
Yeah.
I gave them a list of over 50 different individuals, right? From Spike Lee to Harry Belafonte to all these different places where they have to go out. Now you're gonna have to learn from them. You're gonna have to learn who these individuals are. And I supported them by whatever they learned. They did their whole project for me, and they had to do a stand up and do a report. And the best reports, I celebrated them. I gave them a nice little like lunch dinner, catered lunch dinner, everything. It was fantastic, but they learned. Yeah,
that's the thing.
They learned about these individuals.
Yes.
And so back to what I was saying, like I made my son learn about W.E.B. Du Bois. He had to write a report on him, and I told him, I said, well, who was his biggest rival? I asked him, like, who was his biggest rival? And he didn't know. I was like, no, W.E.B. Du Bois talked about Booker T. Washington all the time because they had different ideologies on how, after Reconstruction, how the black person is supposed to be moving, operating. W.E.B. Du Bois believed that we should be in political positions and positions of power where Booker T. Washington was kind of like, no, he did his, I think this September, so the famous Atlantic composition speech that he gave, Cast Down Your Bucket. He gave that speech to telling black folks, like, hey, cast down your bucket where you are. So if you already know a trade, if you already been doing this, during slavery, and now after slavery, you trying to find work or trying to get these things, no. Benefit off of what you already have. So they kind of like had a back and forth essay conflict with each other. But it was really good. It was just two different mindsets, right? But they were still great scholars.
That's what I was going to say. They both was great scholars, but just two different mindsets.
Yeah,
come from two different places.
They had different ideologies of how they supposed to move, but in actuality, they both were right. They both were right. But still, like I made him do that, and so he learns. He learns about, he can probably tell you about W.E.B. Du Bois, but we have to be, as parents, we have to be very intentional about our blackness. And not only just that, but ourselves, we have to be intentional, because my parents didn't really, they talked about their experience of like just growing up, but they didn't tell me about former scholars and whatever the case may be. So we have to be the ones to this generation. I think is ain't knocking any other generation, but this generation has to now be very, very intentional about how our future is going to look, because at this moment right now, I don't see no end to the racism. I don't see the end of white supremacy. Not in my lifetime. But what we need to do is start leaving the tools for our children and our children's children's children to be able to succeed, and hopefully in one day in time, when I'm gone from this earth, that our children, somebody has stopped it. Somebody has now made a change into the system that we are a part of, because of they understand our blackness, our black culture, and how important our just being us. It's so important.
That's what I'm saying. Like we have to teach them so they'll be able to fight against all these obstacles that's out here that's trying to get in front of them. And when people hear you say fight, they always think physical. And that's not what I'm talking about at all. I'm talking about your mind. Knowing where you come from and knowing where you're going.
I think everybody play a role. So I think so when we really think about it, when we talk about like the greatness of black folks and innovators, is that every aspect plays a role. The thinker, the actual, the actual fighter. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody, it's a community. It's an ecosystem. It's an ecosystem of different things where everybody plays a specific role into breaking down these barriers and saying, you're gonna love my culture. You're gonna love my culture. And everybody play a role in it in their own different way, right? But that's the problem we have to recognize. We have to recognize this is an ecosystem. We be thinking like, oh no, that's the wrong way you do things.
Like, nah.
That's that's the wrong. I'll take example like for some people talking about the protests and like riots. That's the ecosystem. The protesters that go out is the ones that go out and they talk about the issue. They bring in the cause. They bring the issue, and we're going out here. We're going to stand here. We're going to let people know. The rioters are the ones who maybe out here destroying, and looting these areas. But guess what? They doing the destroy because they don't know the way how to be like the protester,
exactly,
and to speak about it. They have rage inside of them that now is letting loose, right? And then you have the other end on the other aspect of the policymakers. Right, so it's all an ecosystem that all plays a part. So we have to understand that and stop fighting against each other, and understanding that this is an ecosystem in totality, and how we all play a part. Like, we all play a part. Just like for you really think about it. Like, we had the W.E.D. Boys, we had Booker T. Washington, their little onslaught, right? But then we also have Martin Luther King, Malcolm X.
Yeah, it was two different. Like you said, it was two different ideologies that they were doing. It was Martin Luther King was more the I'm gonna talk, we're gonna be peaceful, we're gonna walk, and we're gonna do this. Malcolm X was like, nah, that walking and talking and being peaceful, that's not gonna fly. This is what we need to do. We need to go ahead, aggression. This is what we need to do. But at the end of the day, they both was trying to move forward to the same goal.
The same goal. So that's what I'm saying. So even back then, if I had been so grateful if they were understood that this is an ecosystem. I play a role,
right?
You play a role. Somebody else plays a role. And we all going to the same agenda and goal.
Exactly.
But while I'm playing my role, I'm not going to attack your role.
Exactly.
I'm not going to attack your role because that's your role in this ecosystem. My role is my role. Don't attack how I approach things. Don't attack things how I talk about it or the way that I want to move, because guess what? We all trying to get to this same goal.
Exactly, bro. Exactly.
And that is the biggest thing that we need to focus and realize, even present today, is that it's an ecosystem, but we all want the same thing.
We want the same thing,
right?
Same outcome.
So we shouldn't be talking about tearing down the next person because of what their idea is, if it's extremist,
right?
Or if it's radical, or if it's too modest. We need to be understanding that you playing your role, but play my role.
Exactly.
And if somebody comes and confronts you about, well, what do you think about, so and so, I'm not here to speak about that.
Exactly.
I want to speak about, and then you tell them. You speak about what you want to speak about. You speak about your decision making, your what you want to implement.
Exactly.
Right? All this stuff plays a role to get to the greater good, and because they did it. You know what I mean? Like, white folks did it. They had their own people. They had their people that played their roles, but they all was like for real focus on the goal of just oppression. White supremacy. And we still suffering and bearing down on that same system to this day.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it, man.
Yeah, man,
bro. Brad, this was one of the ones that need to be talked about, right?
Yeah. So yeah, man. Like, I think this was good. Like, our culture, love our culture, love our people.
That's right.
From every aspect, from down to the poorest person to even the richest person. From the person who is so-called the wokest person, to the person who's not. We all have to understand that we're all in this black culture. We in our blackness together. And that we have to be really loving and understanding to one another's views, right? And stop tearing each other down. Have your own opinion. Be who you are. But don't forget that your blackness is always under attack.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it.
But also, by your blackness is being under attack, is that also celebrate it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Celebrate your culture, man. Celebrate your upbringing. Yeah. Because, man, I just reflecting on that, we was even going to talk about this today. I was just reflecting on my childhood, and I was just like, we always make the best of everything,
bro. I don't care what it is, we always make the best of it. The lights could be out in the house,
we make the best of it.
We make a game. Mom, dad, whoever sit around and they'll tell stories, may tell ghost stories, whatever, but we make the best out of it. Any situation, any situation where some people, when they go through it, they be like, oh my goodness, it's the end of the world, we always come out victorious.
And I talked about Dr. Allen from Morgan State earlier, but he said, and I said this before, but it did always resonate with me. He says the greatest people come from struggle.
True.
The greatest people come from struggle.
So true.
Because when they went through that struggle, they also know how not to go back to that struggle.
Yeah.
Right, you gain so much wisdom.
You do,
and I think in our black culture, we have been through so much struggle, but it's so much greatness that's just not really talked about. And again, I think it's really, really intentional that we embrace it, that we love it. You know, from every aspect of it, from the way that we dress, our hairstyle, the way that we talk. You know, be proud of it. Be very proud of it. You know, because again, you know, white folks use our language. Which is honestly like a linguistic blackface.
You think about it,
form of blackface. But yeah, we have to really just celebrate it, man. So I love my black skin.
Oh man, who you telling?
Everything about my blackness.
I love everything about my blackness, all the way down to the way I talk. You know, so
the way I talk.
You know, I tell, especially to the youth, to the parents out there who have kids, young kids, let them know how great they are. Let them know how beautiful their culture is. Let them know how beautiful they are. You know, from their hair follicles all the way down to their toenails. You let them know, because America isn't letting them know.
That's right.
You know,
that's right.
You know, so what they are seeing on TV is making it seem like our blackness is wrong. So make sure you instill in them that you are a beautiful black man, beautiful black woman. You are a prince, a princess. You are a king. You're a queen. Make sure you instill this in your kids, because no one else will. You know, so
even down to the food. I just think about the food we
I know,
eat,
bro. Oh man,
food that we come up with.
Catfish, right? Catfish, whiting.
What?
Oh my gosh! But oh man, I'm getting hungry right now. Collard greens,
potato salad, bro.
Oh, the baked mac and cheese. What? Man.
You ain't saying no more.
Hey,
I want some soul food,
man. Yeah, who you telling, bro?
I want some greens with some turkey.
Man, I can go for that. But look to everyone, thank you again for tuning in with us with Coop and Randy. We appreciate y'all. We love y'all.
Thank y'all so much. We appreciate y'all. We see y'all on the next one. Peace out.
We gone.